This Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. The Senate leader is Senator Bamidele.
New principal officers emerge as the 10th Senate resumes after 3 weeks recess.
We will work collaboratively towards greater goods that will transcend partisan lines.
And Senate President urges senators to exhibit high level of patriotism in the discharge of their duty. Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Senate, your window into the activities of the Red Chamber at the National Assembly. Tuesday, 4th of July 2023, the 10th Senate resumed plenary after a 3-week recess, taken to enable lawmakers settle down for the challenges ahead. Highpoint of the resumption was the emergence of its principal officers. Details of this and more on this episode of the program. I am Hussaina Amina Aboki, your anchor, urging you to stay tuned.
The agenda of a lawmaker want to make law
to ensure peace and security of this country.
My main aim is to do the commanders
representation that will bring a lot of improvement.
Thanks for staying tuned. The 10th Senate resumed plenary on the 4th of July 2023 after a 3-week recess taken to aid the new lawmakers accomplish the task ahead of them. That day, plenary commenced at about 11:30 a.m. with Senate President Nat'l welcoming back senators, urging them to get down to the business of stabilizing the entire country and assisting the executive to achieve rapid economic growth.
At an auspicious time like this, the entire country has entrusted us with the responsibility of lawmaking, oversight functions, and representations at all levels, aim at shaping the policies and aim at making laws and legislations that will impact positively on the lives of our people and bring about renewed hope and a rebirth of new Nigeria.
He also called on the senators to transcend party lines while carrying out their duties.
Our differences in opinions, our backgrounds and ideologies notwithstanding, I believe God will assist us to bring out the best in us, and every one of us as a people with a common destiny should strive at ensuring that the Nigerian people feel the impact of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So as distinguished senators, I have no doubt that by engaging in respectful dialogue and finding common grounds in all issues, we will work collaboratively towards greater goods that will transcend partisan lines.
Following that was one of the major events of the day, the announcement of principal officers of the 10th Senate, who include Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, Ekiti Central Senate Majority Leader, Senator Dave Umahi, Ebonyi South Deputy Majority Leader, Senator Ali Ndume, Borno South Chief Whip, Senator Lola Ashiru, Kwara South Deputy Whip. This was followed by a 10-minute closed-door session, at the end of which Senate President Nat'l announced the members of the Senate Minority Caucus as follows. Senator Matt Kondavo, Plateau North Senate Minority Leader, Senator Kamaruddin Olareri, Osun West Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Darlington Wakocha, Abia Central Senate Minority Whip, Senator Rufai Hanga, Kano Central Deputy Minority Whip.
To assure all of you,
the new majority leader, on behalf of other newly elected principal officers, expressed appreciation to the Senate President and members of the 10th Senate for finding them worthy of the various positions.
To thank you, Mr. President, and to thank all our distinguished colleagues for the opportunity and special privilege or extended privilege granted us to serve in this position, and to assure all of you, on behalf of all of us, that by the grace of God, we take this as an assignment that deserves serious attention and will give it our best.
We will now take a break to open our notebook segment. Don't go away.
The legislative chamber is a revered hall used by parliamentarians across the world to enact laws, deliberate on issues and problems of constituents with a view to profiling solutions. It is a stage where legislative deliberations and actions are taken by the representatives of the people to address the yearnings and aspirations of the citizenry. Legislators are protected from prosecution on account of remarks made in the chamber.
The program now continues with reports of motions and resolutions adopted during the plenaries for 4th, 5th and 6th of July 2023. Stay tuned for a summary of these as compiled and presented from our studio.
That
The Senate considered 4 motions on Tuesday, 4th July 2023. The first, sponsored by Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi Peter, Ebonyi North, was on the urgent need to halt the extortion, intimidation and harassment of motorists and commuters by the police on public roads.
The Senate notes that one of the primary functions of the Nigerian police personnel, among other things, is to facilitate the free passage and movement on highways, roads and streets open to the public. Further, notes that Section 49, Sub 1 of the Police Act 2020 as amended empowers the police to conduct stop and search, while Subsection 2 empowers them to search and detain any person or vehicle where reasonable grounds for suspicion exist. Observe that Nigerian police force, which has one of its primary duty to facilitate the free passage and movement of commuters and motorists on public roads, has taken undue advantage by resorting to extortion, intimidation, and harassment of motorists.
The motion enjoyed robust debate.
I know what prompts my distinguished colleague Nwaboyi to move this motion is what is going on the social media, how a policeman run on a citizen of this country. This act is barbaric, and we demand a panel of inquiry, public hearing on how the police will go about to take disciplinary measure to those policemen that they did that act.
The police should reform itself. We want a police that can work. We want to support the police to work. But a situation where the people we are supporting are actually not having the support of the masses because of their activities. The issue of only stop and search as the only way to maintain security on our ways have to stop. The IG of police have to come up with new ways through which security can be enhanced through use of technology, CCTV cameras, and the rest of it.
If such a report comes, the Inspector General of Police should consider summary dismissal of the officers involved in this act. It's very rampant on our highways, and we cannot continue to say, call on them to stop this. They will not stop it. Even when you report them to maybe area commander of the location where this thing happened, the matter will be closed because some of them are on duty on the highways on their behalf. In the evenings, they go and report back the monies they collected on the highways. If you don't make returns, they would put you on the highways again. These are the things we are aware of.
Imagine, in this rainy season, you come to a checkpoint. They ask all of you to come down. You now walk through the rain, and then the car will drive past, then you will all enter. So the point really, for me, is not just to say, ask the IG, just like Senator Ume has said, not just to ask the IG. When the time comes for when we will talk about the prayers, I will also add this prayer, that the dehumanization should stop.
One resolution was adopted. It was to call on the Inspector General of Police to direct his officers and men to stop forthwith the extortion, intimidation and harassment of motorists and commuters on the highways. The motion was voted on and adopted.
The ayes have it.
Continued attacks.
Another motion that day was a call on the federal government to address the general insecurity and incessant attack on Plateau State, sponsored by Senator Plang Diketsatu from Plateau Central. Senator Plan Diket lamented the general insecurity and continued attacks on communities in Plateau State, especially in the rural areas.
The general insecurity and continued attacks on communities in Plateau State, a state known for its hospitality, peace, tourism, and accommodation, is worthy of note. Also worthy of note is that the past decade has been a recurrent crisis across the state, especially in rural areas.
The motion also enjoyed the support of the lawmakers.
Out of the 109 of us here, I believe 80 to 90% will have a story to tell about the issue of security. Even today, last week in my constituency, Boko Haram struck again and then killed 8 people. In my own local government, they attacked and killed over 40 people. Farmers are no longer going to their farms.
I voted in the last election as an IDP, an internally displaced person, arising from this crisis. And 4 out of the 3 local government areas that are represented in Benue State have been displaced. Indeed, they are under siege as a result of this unfortunate development.
Benue and Plateau were together from Taraba. Just day before yesterday, in Usa local government, there was an attack in Usa local government by 9 p.m. in Taraba State, in my senatorial district. And unfortunately, the next day, I now saw on the news again, a former governor, our former colleague here, is calling for amnesty for the bandit. Mr. President, this motion is timely. There is nothing like that. There is nothing like amnesty for them.
The mover of the motion prayed the Senate to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the appointment of new service chiefs in line with the yearnings of Nigerians and his readiness to tackle the insecurity in different parts of the country. Call on the service chiefs to carry out on-the-spot assessment of insecurity in the troubled parts to give Nigerians a sense of belonging and also serve as impetus for the military operations in those affected local government areas. Urge the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to cushion the hardship of the IDPs by providing them with basic amenities, especially building materials to rebuild their homes, as well as urge the Chief of Defense Staff to, as a matter of urgency, establish joint security posts in strategic locations in the state. The motion was voted on and adopted.
The ayes have it.
Wednesday, the 5th of July 2023 was no different as lawmakers were seated in the Red Chamber to begin plenary at 11 a.m. Let's take a report on this as compiled and presented from our studio.
Floodwaters as appropriate.
Viewing from the other paper, the first motion considered for the day was on the urgent need to intervene in the flooding disaster afflicting Shagamu and Ijebu-Ode areas of Ogun East Senatorial District of Ogun State, as well as other parts of the country, sponsored by Senator Benga Daniel from Ogun East Senatorial District and Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar from Kwara North Senatorial District.
The state should please note that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had forecasted that the level of rainfall in 2023 will surpass that of 2022. That the Nigerian Meteorological Agency also know that the 2023 annual flood outlook prepared by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency showed that 178 local government areas in 32 states and the FCT fell within the highly probable flood risk areas.
The motion generated debates from the lawmakers.
I think we need to come up with short-term measures and long-term measures to approach the problem of flooding in Nigeria. With respect to short-term measures, the issue of drainage, control of drainage is very, very important. And I think every state has Ministry of Environment, that can address the issue of drainages in the various states. That is a stopgap measure, okay? Immediate measure that can be taken. But having said that, sir, there is a need for a long-term measure that will address the issue of flooding in Nigeria.
For example, when Cameroon discharges its dam year in, year out, Taraba, Adamawa, Benue, and Nasarawa states, and beyond, including Kogi, suffer tremendously. They suffer damages of property and human lives. And year in, year out, nothing has been done to either liaise with Cameroonian government or make an arrangement.
For the flooding, we need to look at holistic solutions. The FCT is not about dams. It's actually about development control, random buildings on flood channels, and channels that stop suddenly. So the solution to this is not just piecemeal, but we need to sit with the respective agencies for all over the country, and specifically the FCT.
All resolutions were adopted on the motion. They include constitute an ad hoc committee to liaise with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to put in place erosion prevention and management mechanisms. Urge relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to release funds for the dredging of blocked canals and water bodies, among others. Urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to revisit the proposed construction of Kappinghauser Dam and other dams as the case may be, to take in the floodwaters from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Further urge the National Emergency Management Agency to send relief materials to the affected victims in Shagamu and Ijebu-Ode areas of Ogun East Senatorial District of Ogun State, as well as Edu and Pategi local government area of Kwara State and other parts of the country. The motion was voted on and adopted. Next was a motion by Senator Asuku Ekpeyon from Cross River South Senatorial District on the urgent need to rehabilitate the Calabar-Oban-Ekan Road in Cross River State.
The Senate notes that the Calabar-Oban-Ekan Road, a trunk A road, is the major link between the southern parts of Nigeria through Cross River State to Cameroon, and an important transport corridor and commercial gateway has been completely cut off. Also notes that the road has suffered the worst form of neglect in the history of road maintenance and rehabilitation in Nigeria, despite having featured in successive budgets as capital projects without execution, even when the contract for the rehabilitation has been awarded.
In his prayers, Senator Asuku Ekpeyon urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to review the ongoing contract for the rehabilitation of the Calabar-Oban-Ekan Road awarded to Setraco Nigeria Limited and fund the projects to enable the contractor to commence and complete the rehabilitation work. Also urged the Federal Road Maintenance Agency FEMA to carry out emergency repairs of the totally failed and impassable portions of the Calabar-Oban-Ekan Road and mandate the Committee on Works, FEMA, and Legislative Compliance, when constituted, to interface with the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to ascertain the reason for the delay in the execution of the rehabilitation project and to ensure compliance. The motion was voted on and adopted.
Plenary for Thursday, the 6th of July 2023 began with a motion by Senator Kau Smiler from Kano South. The motion was on the urgent need to reverse the concession of Malam Aminu Kano International Airport Kano to Messrs Corporación America Airport Consortium.
Reflect that from the combined import of the FAN Act and the ICRC procedural manual is an evident manifestation that the entire airport concession is based on an incurable faulty foundation. For there is no doubt that it is the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria FAN, not the Ministry of Aviation, that has the power to transfer its responsibility to a would-be concessionaire. It is also FAN, not the ministry, which has the requisite legislative and policy framework for such.
He prayed that the Senate condemn in strong terms the concession of Malam Aminu Kano International Airport and any other airport as it was not done in public interest, as well as urged the federal government to review the entire exercise and give a level playing field to all stakeholders. The motion was voted on and adopted, after which the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barrow Jibrin, who presided over plenary that day, gave his comments.
Let me say concessioning is what is in vogue all over the world as we speak, because government is not a good manager of businesses. I can remember even Heathrow Airport has been concessioned even to a Nigerian, and the airport is doing very well, but in a very transparent and open manner. Well, let's not put the cart before the horse. We allowed relevant committees, as proposed, as adopted here, to investigate, to find out the truth about what is being alleged. And I think we shouldn't throw the baby with the bathwater. After everything has been investigated, it is still my belief that we should go on the path of concessioning.
Segment is next, and our Senator of the Week is the newly elected Majority Leader of the 10th Senate, Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele.
Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele was born on the 29th of July 1963 at Iyi-Ekiti, Ekiti State in southwestern Nigeria. He spent his early life in Lagos State, where he obtained his West African School certificate from Baptist Academy Secondary School. At the tertiary level, Senator Bamidele graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree with honors from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife in 1986, and a Bachelor of Laws degree, again with honors from the University of Benin, Edo State, Nigeria in 1990. After his call to the Nigerian bar, Senator Bamidele launched into a full-time legal career in 1992. He obtained the Master of Laws degree from the world-renowned Franklin Peace Law Center of the University of New Hampshire Law School, Concord, New Hampshire, USA. Senator Bamidele is a New York attorney, member of the 7th House of Representatives, and three-term member of the prestigious Lagos State Cabinet between 2000 and 2011. He served as Honorable Commissioner in different ministries under 2 governors. He was also a senior legislative aide to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 1992, when the president was a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele is the former chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Legislative Budget and Research in the 7th National Assembly. He also served as the chairman of the National Assembly Budget and Research Office, NABRU, between July 2011 and June 2015. In recognition of his contribution to the restoration, growth and development of democracy and good governance in Nigeria, the prestigious national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, was conferred on him by the former President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, in October 2022.
It is on that note we draw the curtains on this episode of Inside the Senate. Until I come your way again, do enjoy the rest of your week.